In other news, I like to talk about this coaching thing because for me, for me, you know, anytime I go the race way, I always have people in my messages, whether it be TikTok, whether it be Instagram, whether it be Facebook, whether it be YouTube. Hey, you gotta make it by race. Motherfucker, yeah.
Call it spade a spade.
That's what it is. Because if it's not about race, then explain to me how a team can struggle. Head coach or a guy steps in as the interim coach, saves that team, and they have them on the brink of making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for Tom Brady's heroics in the fourth quarter, they make the playoffs. And they're headed to face the Dallas Cowboys in the first round of the wild card playoffs. We're talking about the Carolina Panthers. We're talking about my man. What's his name?
Steve Wilks.
Steve Wilks, thank you. So, if that doesn't give a owner saying, you know what, this guy has the respect of the locker room. You've heard the players come out and say that they love playing for Steve Wilks. He brought authority. He brought a stability. He brought discipline to that locker room. He brought belief to that locker room. The players believed in themselves. Remember, when Matt Rule left, did you hear a peep out of the players? Not one player came to his defense. No one. Because they knew that he was over his skis. He's a college coach that got hired and still getting paid by a professional football team.
From day one.
From day one. It was a mistake from day one. So Steve Wilks does what he has to do to earn that job and still gets passed over and they hire Frank Reich. I have no problem with Frank Reich. I think Frank Reich is a great person. He's a good person. There's a lot of things, a lot of positive things that they say about Frank Reich. I have no problem with him. I have no problem with him being a very good offensive mind and a good play caller. But we got to call a spade, fellas. He got fired from the Colts and got replaced by a guy in the booth that's never coached any level higher than high school.
It's crazy.
He got fired. So it wasn't like they just picked him up off the street and he's just a name out there, hot name. He got fired.
This season.
And that guy has more credentials to you than the guy that almost led your team to the playoffs?
Blasphemy.
It was in your building. It's already here. Y'all could pick up one where y'all left off at.
Right.
So when I talk about if it ain't about race, then what is it about?
Right.
And a great comp for that, let's watch Jeff Saturday. Let's see what happens there. Because he gave us a countdown. Hey, I'm only staying for 8 games.
Yeah, got 8 games, got 7 games, got 6 games. Hey, 3 games. Hey, got 1 game left, guys. Hey.
But watch him keep the job, citing the job that he did.
Right.
Oh, now he has the experience.
Because it goes back to what I always say. You got to be white at the right time. And that's all it is. That's all it is. And if anybody can be able to tell me different, then show me.
There you go.
Show me.
We have we have Coach Lovey. Great job with the team.
David Culley.
Yo, they killed me with
David
that
Culley. He never wanted to be a head coach, but was a guy who should have been a head coach because of his tenure in the league. But he never stood up to be a head coach.
Right.
Did a great job. They fired him. So, like, which black coach is going to want to take a job in Houston? DeMeco Ryans turned down their interview.
He actually interviewed for them.
No, he interviewed with them.
He ended up interviewing because the story was he had 4 interviews. He turned down one of them, citing.
They actually have him as a front runner. So you're going to hire 3 straight black coaches. If I'm DeMeco Ryans, if you take that, listen,
Right.
And that's the thing. People have like hit back on me and they said that, oh, I don't think that boycotting is the solution because this is still the NFL. This is still the premier job. You don't turn down NFL jobs. Well, maybe you should start.
Yeah.
Set a precedence.
Right?
Yeah, that's it.
Because that's my thing. Who says that this is supposed to be the premier job?
Right.
Last time I checked, Primetime is over here doing great things in Colorado. College is there.
Facts.
The XFL is coming.
Facts.
So for me, why am I going to continue to have you embarrass me? Steve Wilks hired a lawyer, and the lawyer put out a statement about how they don't like how this went down.
It was messed up.
Do you think that this is going to go well for his particular coaching future? The last person that put lawyers involved got blacklisted by the NFL.
Yes.
Brian Flores got a job because
Tomlin
hired him.
Because of Tomlin.
If it wasn't for Tomlin, nobody was touching him.
Nobody
It wasn't
was
for somebody
offering
who
nothing.
looked like him.
Correct.
Right.
If it wasn't for somebody who
Right.
looked like him and understood his struggle, nobody would touch him. So as a black man seeing this, and I keep hearing my white counterparts talking, oh, I don't think it's about race, I think it's about skill. Bullshit. And at some point, when are people going to realize this, and when are the candidates or the people that are going on these interviews are going to say no? Hey, Lovie Smith, we'd like to interview you. Come in for no. I'm good. Hey, Marvin Jones, Marvin Lewis, you want to come in? No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to be your quota.
Right.
I don't want to do what the league wants you to do. Go hire who you want. Because I know exactly who you want to hire. You want to hire the people that look like you, that you can be able to have a beer with. We heard that about Jerry Jones. Yeah, he have a beer with Mike McCarthy and eat nachos all night. That's what you want to do. Because for us, when we change your franchise, when we help you make the playoffs or we help you steer that ship in the right direction, it's still not enough. We have to do 3 times as much to just get to the base level of the bad coaches. So the bad coaches like Mike Patricia that can stay there in Detroit for 3 seasons.
Crazy.
After Jim Caldwell gets fired from making the playoffs 2 out of 3 years. And Jim Caldwell hasn't sniffed another interview.
And the reason we had to fire Jim is because, they lost the team. That's as far as the team can go with Jim. Only for the team to do worse with the newer coach.
Right.
At what point are we going to stop being gaslit by the NFL? It's because we love the NFL. This is not going to be a story in 4 months. You know that.
Nope.
Because
It'll be somebody else.
training camp is going to start. Football is going to start up again. Everybody's going to get excited about
Everybody
football. They're
gonna
going
put
to
their
cheer about
blinders
their
onto it.
teams. Like, who's the quarterback? And this story is going to go away until the next Black Friday cycle.
Yep.
Until the next hiring cycle that comes along. And then here we go again. So at this point, we need to stop this nonsense. Because every year we have the same conversations. What needs to start happening, in my opinion, is that the players need to now stand up. If I'm a player on the Carolina Panthers, I'm saying no disrespect to Frank Reich. I want Steve Wilks. And if you don't give me Steve Wilks, then you can let me walk off this team. Somebody will take me. I don't want to be in an organization that doesn't want to hire a guy that really earned his job. We've seen stories like this all over sports. We've seen the Brooklyn Nets hire Steve Nash over Jacques Vaughn when Jacques Vaughn was busting his ass with that young team in the bubble and having them play well. And I said on my show, Jacques Vaughn is the next coach of the Brooklyn Nets. He deserves it. Didn't get the job.
Nope.
Right? Gave it to Steve Nash that looked like a deer in the headlights for 3 years
Nash
on the
bombed.
sideline, right?
Yep.
And guess what they ended up doing? Going right back to Jacques Vaughn, and look who's a candidate for Coach of the Year. Interesting.
Right.
Who would have thought?
Listen.
Me. That's who, right? People who have a brain. People who can see. You can tell who a good coach is. You can tell who motivates players and who can actually get things done. You'll never have another Mike Tomlin if you don't give people a fucking chance.
That's facts.
You'll never find the next black Sean McVay because they never will get a chance to. Byron Leftwich gets fired from the Bucks, right? Byron Leftwich gets fired from the Bucks. Oh, he gets fired from the Bucks. Mike LaFleur parts ways with the Jets. Mike LaFleur has a job today. It's all about how they position you. You fire Leftwich, nobody's going to touch him.
Right.
When he should have a job.
He had Tom Brady, so that's going to be their excuse to not touch him.
Exactly.
Oh, you couldn't see with Tom?
Did you see the year that he had with Tom? But the same year.
What about the year before?
Right, same Leftwich. Won a Super Bowl.
Right.
What about the year before that?
The year before that, man, threw for like 5,800 yards and 48 touchdowns. Right? That's what I'm saying, is that at some point, this is going to be a conversation that is had for a few weeks and it goes away. We got to do something different. And the different thing is what I've been saying, is that coaches need to say no. Just say no. There's other opportunity out there. It may not be the NFL. May not be the NFL, but college is just as good. In regards to earning potential,
a head coach,
it's actually better.
Yeah.
You need the headline.
It's actually
another
better.
black coach.
Right.
Another black coach says no.
It's actually better. Just say no. Thoughts, fellas? I'll leave it up to the room.
I'll tell you, what it's gonna turn into is, and what I don't want to see is, the only time a black coach is gonna get hired, it's gonna be by another black coach.
Right.
That's what they're waiting for. And then once that becomes the highlight, then it's gonna be like, a big thing. It should be a big thing now. Nobody's saying anything though.
NFL's a copycat league until Tomlin won the Super Bowl. You
Yeah.
think they'd flood the
Right.
everything with black coaches? They even.
Well, yeah, right. That's the funny part, right? It's the copycat league. We see all these young white coordinators. Oh, he's an offensive guru, right? We want to find the next offensive guru, right?
People were getting jobs just because they knew Sean.
But when Tom was out there winning Super Bowls, it's a copycat league, but I don't know if we want that.
Right.
Don't know if we want that.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm tired of
Yeah.
it. I'm really, and this is me being PG, because I could say a lot more, but what's the point? What's the point? And like I said, people need to look at what they're doing. Look at your earning potential. You can go to college, go there and be successful. And then when they realize how great you are, then your price goes up in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You can be the next Matt Rule and say, I want to buy the groceries too. And you can give me $70 million on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Slap that
Right?
check.
Instead of giving me the worst job possible and expecting me to put this up like the New England Patriots.
We're gonna give you a 1 year with the
Right.
$1 million.
And then when you're on the cusp, they're gonna get rid of you for.
You did your best.
We think he ran his course with
right.
the
This is just another court. This guy did great. But hey, we want to thank you. When is it enough? How many times are you gonna get smacked in the face before you turn the other cheek and say, all right, you gonna stop slapping me?
Right.
Yeah.